G'day there, it's Dave here, Dave Mills, with another chess night video. And I'm excited to talk to you about this because it's the knight relationship with the edge pawns. Now, why do you think I call these pawns the edge pawns? Because they're on the edge. And I call these two files are squares that run up and down the board, and ranks are squares that run left to right, is the flare out is because or running wide is what I call it, is it can pull their defenders away from the center focus, or, as your bandit runs down the board. Also, you can swing inside and hit them in the center if they have a band in the center. So we can also see with our setup here, we can see I've put the rooks. Now, the rooks have a relationship with the edge pawns too, obviously, because they can drive it forward. Just moving a pawn here could perhaps dissuade them from castling queenside. Also, it combines nicely with the knight. We'll talk about that. Now, we see here the center, and the gooey center, the delicious center, the most greenest grass, the high hill. And we see the sub-center, which is the next layer down on the hill. And what we're going to talk about is the edge pawns and is the edge route and how it relates to the center and with the knights particularly. So let's play the knights to their most natural squares. Well, their most natural squares gains 2 ranks. Ranks are squares that run left and right. And we're moving the knights so as forward as they can towards the enemy and as central as they can. And you can see now this knight on the light square is attacking too dark, and the knight on the dark square is attacking too light. And also, it means that there's light squares over here, which the knight can look at, and there's dark squares for this knight. And we're going to see how it can relate to the pawns. So we're going to start with the queen side and some examples on the queen side, and then I'll move over to the king side. On the queen side here, queen side determined from the queen to the left for white, and king to the right for the queen side or the left. On this left side here, we see there's several ways for the knight to move. The knight can run to the rim, which is a bit dim, but to look to swing back inside to the sub-center. Beautiful idea. Or the knight can actually, from here, run further down the board and perhaps sacrifice on a pawn to bust the position open. And but it's once again, it's only moving 1 rank up the board. And so this idea of moving 1 rank up the board is, remember, every time you move is time. That means, you've gone short. I like to call this a lazy L. The L is on the side. The little L is on the side. And so, because you can see that the jump is an L that's fallen over. So the knight from here can also jump into their half of the board, and it's the most active line. It's the most centralized. If he can't go here into the center, attacking on the edge of the center is fantastic. And so now we see that the knight has entered their half of the board. Now, if their pawns have run past, then and can't hurt that knight, then that knight is an outpost piece once it's protected by a pawn. So how can we protect it by a pawn? We can protect it by this pawn. The pawn that's behind it is